blast each one of those people through an automated, simple response chain. Hey, thanks for the message. I don't recognize the number. What's your information? I'd love to stay in touch. 33,000 people actually entered their information in, and then I invited them all to buy my new project. 1 out of every 2 or 17,000 of those people actually bought the project, and since then we've continued to scale this solution for influencers, brands, retailers, salespeople, so that they could actually take advantage of text, and the name of the product is Superphone.
Are we doing intros?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
That's a great intro.
My name is Zach Normandin. I'm the CEO of Dirty Lemon Beverages. We sell beverages exclusively via text message, and I remember meeting Ryan a couple years back when we were first starting, and Ryan was the only one in the space I knew doing anything with text messages at scale. And a lot of what I saw really early on is what we ended up building into our platform. But I was always fascinated by this idea that you could communicate with a lot of customers at scale, same as Ryan. And I'm from the food and beverage space. I've built 2 companies now, food companies. So I started a kids food company in 2008, and then I sold that in 2013, and started a beverage company because I was frustrated, a direct-to-consumer beverage company, because I was frustrated with the process that most brands have to go through to get their products to consumers, which is traditionally through brick and mortar retailers. So I wanted to do something different, built a beverage first, and then developed the technology platform to distribute the products. And 3 years later now, we have 8 beverages. We've collaborated with Vogue magazine. We just did a cannabis collaboration with Bebo, which is a high-end cannabis brand. And we're expanding now into retail. We have our own retail stores. We just opened our first space in Tribeca, and we'll have 3 more around the U.S. by the end of next year. And yeah, really developing this idea that we call conversational commerce, which is commerce by way of communication and having a direct dialogue with your customers.
And when you go to his retail store, you just text him what you walked out with, and then he charges you. So there's no registers.
No registers, no people working the store.
I'm Erica Nardini. I'm the CEO of Barstool Sports. So a little bit different than these guys, but Barstool Sports is arguably one of, if not the most influential men's lifestyle brand for 18 to 49-year-old males. We produce about 200 pieces of content a day. We take that IP and we create direct-to-consumer businesses around it, whether those are commerce businesses such as t-shirts or merchandising, physical products, ancillary products, events. So what we're doing essentially is creating a media company that has a D2C backbone, and whereby we're taking conversation that happens in social, content that is digitally produced and distributed, and commerce, and we're combining those into one asset or one product that serves to grow the brand, connect us with our audiences, grow our business, and ultimately get us closer to our audience and our audience closer to us.
My name is Brian Byrne. I'm the CEO of Wave. We're also a next-gen sports media enterprise. Personally speaking, I've been doing different things for a number of years. Yeah, at the intersection of call it young athletes, fans, and emerging media. And I think much like a lot of entrepreneurs, you start to develop different worldviews and convictions and and theses based on your experiences. And what was ultimately central to what became the manifestation of Wave, was this question of, if you were going to build a sports media enterprise today from scratch, and you had a blank canvas in which to do so, what would that really look like? And from our vantage point, it became really abundantly clear that the first step would be to develop communities and build audience, on top of the platforms where people already are. Instagram, I think, being a primary platform of choice, at least for us, and certainly platforms like Snapchat and Facebook and YouTube and so on. Over the last year, we've developed about 120 communities, on Instagram, moving on to Snap here pretty soon, across a wide array of content types and topics. And I think much like Eric and the folks at Barstool, using those kind of new or emerging media formats, posts, stories, Snap stories, to create content and programming that is squarely in line with what Gen Z and millennials really want as far as their sports content needs.
So of course, if your average is 8%, then you want to get to the biggest number possible so that your 8% is as big as possible. The difference, I believe, over SMS and messaging is that when you actually own the first party data of the people that you're trying to reach, and you're in their most important real estate, the most important real estate in their phone, in which their text message feed, and as the founder of Tap One just said, when you're in that feed, you only got there because they actually care about you and they want to hear from you, then your engagement rate and click-through rate is really through the roof. And so I wouldn't say that I want to have less people in my phone that I can text, but the difference is that when you actually control the data set. I don't control the data set on Twitter. I don't control the data set on Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook. If I want to get more insights on Facebook, I can pay them for it. But when I control the data set, then I'm actually even more empowered to be able to filter, target, segment, personalize, and that increases the engagement even more. And so I think that's really the beauty and the power of text messaging, is that it's a social handle that predates all the other social handles, right? But it's kind of a retro technology that you can install new age and futuristic technology on top of to give insights, information, and intelligence, and really drive the kind of actions and drive the kind of value that you want to create for both yourself and for the people who are engaging you over text.
I wanted to add, we've had really high engagement when we tested texting with moms and parents, because when you have a baby, your whole life changes. And there's a lot of content that we can actually offer around like nutritional tips or lactation or sleep. And yeah, we find the medium to be really, really interesting for us.
Yeah, I mean, Erica, I know you guys don't use text yet. How do you view
I'm working on that.
how do you view kind of communicating with your audience that is so focused and so engaged with you as